So
Yeah.
welcome to week 5, and this is visualization. And before we get started, though, I would like to hear how you got on with loving kindness this week. So who wants to go first? Or Di, you're not unmuted, so you can go.
Oh, okay. Well, I listened to last week's and I heard you talk about people not really being beginners. And I thought, oh yeah, I'm kind of like that. But then I realized what I'm a beginner at. I'm really good at if there's a timetable. If someone's done this class, usually, I know I haven't been, but I am good at attending a class. But I'm not good at the after bit of
Yeah, okay.
making it mine. So that really is beginners for me to actually have a live session where someone's going to ask me how I got on.
It's called accountability, Di. It's good for all of us.
And discipline and
Yeah.
responsibility, yes. So no, I'm still not good at that bit, but I've saved all of these and I can watch them again, can't I?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Um, but
Um, but I like the loving kindness.
okay.
I found it hard as well. I think the harder you find it, the more you need it. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm.
I,
And
I probably agree.
yeah, and I remember thinking one day, oh, I didn't get cross at that person like I normally do. And I suddenly noticed I didn't want to bite their head off or be corrective. And I felt good. It didn't do anything for them, but I felt better. I was
That's
just,
great. But that's supposed to do cultivate good feelings for you.
yeah, well, yeah, it didn't make me feel bad, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, completely.
I think that's enough.
That's great. Michelle, how about you? How did you feel about loving kindness?
Yeah, I mean, I did it. It keeps making me fall asleep. I don't know if that's a good thing. I do it at night in bed generally. I've tried different times of the day. But yeah, when I'm in bed, you've just got such a calming voice, especially the week before as well, because I think that was a bit longer. That was about 12 minutes, wasn't it? And I don't think I made it to the end of any of those.
Oh, I'd just like to say well done for actually doing it every night. So if you fell asleep, never mind. It's really good that you're
Yeah,
consistently trying to do it. So
yeah.
yeah, it's the routine, so it's really good. All right, Sam.
Yep, that this one works perfectly on my morning at work before
Okay.
work is it's good for that. Just a few minutes to think about my day and who I'm grateful for and all that. Yeah, I do like. I've also like sharing your recording as well. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I've sent it to a few people. It's good.
oh,
Oh,
very nice, Sam. Very good. Liz, I know. I mean, obviously we've spoken a little bit about it, but I found what you said interesting as well.
Yeah, I find it hard. I find it hard to be kind to myself to start with. Um, and also the other thing I find is that you say speak the words, but you're it's the repetition that's important, not the meaning.
Mm.
But the words do have meaning, and it's hard to get away from that meaning. Thinking, I am being kind, meet yourself or whatever with kindness. I find it hard not to be thinking about the kindness and everything.
Understand. I mean
But the
that.
other thing I realized during the week, which helped a lot, was actually saying meet yourself with kindness. I hadn't really thought about it very much, but then I realized that if I imagined I was meeting me outside, then I would be meeting me with kindness because I'd be treating me like a different person.
Ah, so
Mm.
like the physical separation of you
Mm,
looking outside yourself worked for
mm,
you.
yeah.
Great. Yes, Di.
I found it hard, the bit where you have to think of someone you care about. I never seem to be able to just pick one. Because you've got your son, you've got your mum, you've got your husband, and I keep thinking, I can't leave anybody out. But if I did it every day,
Yes, you can
but
swap
different,
around. You can
yeah,
swap around every time. It'll be fine. You get everyone in, Di.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
do find that's who. It's interesting. So when you do the world thing, that's slightly easier. And I did like what Kevin said was, no, I can't be doing with my enemies.
Well, you're going to be doing that today. You're
Yes,
going to give that a go.
probably.
And last but not least, Beatrice, how did you get on with loving kindness?
I love it. It has been my favorite so far. And who was saying it? I think it was Louise who was saying that she practiced at night. I also practice it at night, and it's lovely. So definitely my favorite.
Great.
I also can relate to what I was saying of having to share the love. that's, that's a little bit confusing sometimes. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, enemy is a strong word, but I don't know if I will be very good at doing it to people I don't particularly like.
Well, the good thing is you're going to have a little practice of that now.
Yeah.
So
Look at
in this one, it's not quite the same as love and kindness as last week. It's called meditation on seeing the good. So there's not so much repetition of phrases until the end. But I thought you could have a go at trying to send some good feelings to people that you find difficult. Let's not call them enemies. Let's call them people that you find difficult. Okay. So find a nice, comfortable position. You can be sitting or lying. And your eyes can be opened or closed. Just find a moment just to come into your bodies, to feel the support beneath you. And straight away, we're just going to see, can you think of one good thing that you did today? And it needn't be big or grand. So maybe you smiled at somebody. Maybe you listened to them. Maybe you were starting to get annoyed at a slow shop assistant, but you let go of your irritation. Maybe you took out your recycling or emailed an interesting article to your uncle. Thank someone who held a door open for you. Now think of two more things. Remember that it's not conceited or arrogant to consider what you've done right. It's quite replenishing to delight in the good that moves through us. So for a few moments, just sit with a recollection of what you did right. And at this moment, if you can't think of something good you did, that's okay. Just sitting down to do this exercise, to meditate counts. It's a way of befriending ourselves, of being willing to expand our awareness, to step out of some ruts and try something new, and that's very positive. And now picture a benefactor, so someone who's helped you. Think about the good within them. Appreciate their efforts and acts of kindness. So it could be a good friend. You could picture the kindnesses they've performed, the meaningful times you've had together. Just appreciate the good within them. And now think of someone you know who's having a difficult time right now. So think of the times they've reached out to help others or their own sources of strength. So you can see that this person isn't just their problem, but something bigger. And think of a difficult time in your own day. So can you see yourself as being bigger than your problem, with the potential for growth and change? So remembering that something like a crammed schedule or an upset partner will change. Or that if you lose your temper or feel overwhelmed, you can begin again as being bigger than the problem. Now think of someone you have a bit of difficulty with, some conflict with. And see if you can find some good in things that they've done and choices that they've made. And if you can, just simply recall that like all beings, they want to be happy. We're just going to spend the last few moments of reflection on the fact that all beings want to be happy. So you and your friends, the person who's giving you trouble, all beings want to be happy. May they be happy. So you can silently repeat those phrases again and again. All beings want to be happy. May they be happy. All beings want to be happy. May they be happy. Now just let go of the meditation. Bring your awareness back to the support of the earth or the whatever you're sitting on. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Okay. Okay, how was that? Welcome back. Good for you. Did you manage to send some good feelings to someone you're conflicted with? What did anybody not manage that? No, you all managed it? Wow, you awakened beings, you.
Well, I picked someone who wasn't too bad.
That's okay. That's it. You can take it slowly, step by step, no rush. Sending good fit, yeah. Just someone difficult. Okay, well done. Okay, so let's get on with this week. Oh yeah, that's right. Share. Oh, where is it? You. Okay. Oh no, that's not what we want. I'm at the end. All right, okay. Right, okay. Oh, where are you all? I can't see any of you.
We're here.
Oh, I can't see you. Where have you gone? Right, let's try something else. That didn't work.
No, it's definitely you, my darling.
All right.
Sorry.
Nothing
That's
wrong with
okay.
us.
Oh, well, we couldn't, could we?
I don't understand. Share. Let's try again.
Oh, here we go. That's
Oh,
better.
that's better. That's going to be better. I think that's going to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that better?
That's it. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so this is
Flash.
what we're doing. We're doing what is visualization, types of visualization practices, the benefits, and obviously we are going to be practicing visualization. So that's all good. Right, before we start, okay, actually, next slide. What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, Napoleon Hill. So I'm sure you've all heard quotes like that before. I want you just to close your eyes for a moment. Okay, close your eyes and just imagine for a moment that you're holding a juicy lemon in your hand. So picture its bright yellow skin. Maybe you can feel its dimpled skin, its cool weight in your hand. And then maybe you can imagine just slicing it open and maybe all the juice bursts out. Maybe you can feel the juice, smell the juice. And as you bring a slice to your lips, can you almost taste the tangy sourness? So maybe your mouth is even watering right now. Okay. So you can open your eyes. And that was just kind of a simple exercise just to show about the extraordinary about the power of the mind. So obviously to a large extent, the brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. And that's what's really powerful about visualization. So when you picture something happening, your brain responds as if it's actually taking place. And then it releases chemical signals and physical reactions as if it was reality. Okay, so that's the secret power behind meditation, behind visualization meditation. And so just as athletes use mental imagery, and this is kind of well documented, and I think most people know about this now. I mean, it's been around for a long time. They use it to enhance performance. And just as the placebo effect can trigger real healing, you can use your imagination as a powerful tool for relaxation, for healing, and for personal growth. So that's what we're going to be looking at today, the power of your imagination. Okay, so what is visualization exactly? So I keep putting pictures of him everywhere, and I'll tell you why. It's because the two things he's really into is loving kindness meditation and visualization. So he's really into the mind-body connection and how they heal each other. And it's Dr. David Hamilton, and if you're interested in that kind of stuff, two books that are absolutely brilliant of his are Why Woo-Woo Works and How the Mind Heals the Body. Anyway, so visualization, what is it? It is meditation is the practice of using mental imagery to create specific inner experiences that support calm, focus, healing, or personal growth. I think that visualization is a really beginner-friendly meditation, just on the grounds that most of us are able to visualize, and it's almost like going on a journey, really. But we shall see. And rather than observing thoughts or breath, which actually, to be fair, you can do that to start with. Often it's good to do that to start any kind of meditation because it grounds you in your body first. But that's not the point of the visualization meditation. You're basically going to consciously create images in the mind, like a lovely landscape or a river or a sea or whatever it is. So there might be natural places or a light in the body like we do in yoga a lot of the time, or a goal or like a sacred or refuge, a safe place. Other terms it might be called in different places: guided imagery, creative visualization, or mental rehearsal. And I really like this. I don't know where I found it. It wasn't me, but I like this. It's like daydreaming, but with a purpose and a focus. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? That just sounds perfect to me. Okay, so that's what it is. Common challenges, right? Okay, this is really interesting. I didn't know. Have you heard of something called aphantasia? No? Okay, basically, up to 5% of the population have aphantasia, and it's an inability to form mental images. So if you can't see images, it'll be really annoying if I'm saying just imagine, but actually you don't need to just imagine. You can feel or sense or know from past experience. So this was a little thing just in case anybody have trouble creating mental images. And a really bit of information I found interesting about that is it Pixar now? I can't remember, but there's a really high proportion of people that work for Disney Pixar who suffer from aphantasia. So clearly, it's got nothing to do with lack of creativity, which is what you'd imagine. But yeah, there's a bigger percentage of people that have aphantasia that work for Disney Pixar. So there you go. Other challenges: it feels silly or fake. Well, that's okay because the brain doesn't need to feel real for it to have an effect. Repetition is actually what's key here. I suppose like all meditation. And I put this one in every time my mind keeps wandering. Yes, it will keep wandering. You have a thought almost every second of the day. Your mind will keep wandering. It's normal. You just need to gently return to the image and the skill will grow over time. So they're the common challenges. Before I go into the next slide, we could have a little guessing game. I've got 5 different types of visualization on this slide. Does anyone want to guess what types of visualization exist? Okay. What did you say, Di?
I was thinking, well, you see it or you don't. Isn't that funny? I know my husband says he doesn't dream in colour. He's convinced he dreams in black and white, if he dreams at all. But I can't imagine. To me, I see videos. I see pictures in my head when I read a book audibly.
Okay.
But I know not every. I don't understand the question, if I'm honest. Burbling none.
That's fine. Okay. Let's just answer it, and that'd be
Yeah.
So basically, these are the 5. These are the 5 types of visualizations that I could find out there.
Oh,
That's what I meant. So I think some you're more likely to be familiar with than others. So safe place or sanctuary. So that's, where you go to a mental refuge to evoke a sense of safety and calm. So that would be very good for people with anxiety, for instance. Goal orientated. So obviously that's going to be brilliant for kind of vividly imagining a process that you want to, like taking an exam. So that's why one of the things I used to do with the children for SATs, get them to imagine taking an exam, where they'd be sitting in the room, what they'd be doing, where the clock was, all those kind of things. So mentally rehearsing, to prepare. So that's and obviously that's a big one for sports people, and all kinds of performance. Nature-based, I think that's probably the one that we're most familiar with. It's most common, like we think of a river or a lake or a nice beach walk or something like that. So we take ourselves to one of the places that we really like, and that obviously helps bring us calm for one thing. Healing imagery, I think of this as more of a yoga thing. You quite often will imagine a white light or something nice calming, an aura or something like that. When you do it in yoga nidra as well. And this one I found, I'm not really very familiar with this. I've never done it with spiritual imagery, so divine figures. Well, yeah, perhaps Perhaps if you had a more religious bent, that might make more sense as a practice. I don't know really anything like that. Okay, so they're the main types of visualizations, and we are going to do one. We're going to do a meditation leaves visualization to begin. So I'm going to stop the share. Switch the knot away. Okay. So, as ever, make yourself very comfortable. Maybe you close your eyes, maybe you keep them open and just lower your gaze. So in this meditation, you're going to have the option to either pretend, imagine, or get a sense of a stream. And you don't have to be able to picture it. You can just know that it's there. And you can also adjust any aspect of the meditation in a way to suit you. And you can take what you need and leave the rest behind. So maybe becoming aware of your feet making contact with the floor or the surface that you're sat on. Be aware of the space that you occupy. Perhaps the temperature of the room, the sounds around you coming and going. Any smells, scents or aromas. Allowing these things to be there. Allowing everything to be just the way it is. Bring your focus to your breathing. Become aware of when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. You don't have to change anything at all. Just becoming aware of your breathing as it is. Aware when you're breathing in, aware when you're breathing out. Noticing your breath where it feels comfortable for you. The in-breath brings new life and new oxygen, and the out-breath lets go of what the body doesn't need. So you may notice how the body can soften and relax on the out-breath. Know that when the mind wanders, you can return to the in-breath and the out-breath. Perhaps noticing how the out-breath can release tension from the body and the mind. But don't worry if you're not aware of it. Just know that the body can take care of itself. Simply relaxing and softening when it needs to. Imagine, pretend, or get a sense that you're either sitting or standing on a bank beside a stream. A stream is a body of water that flows continuously upon the earth's surface. yet contained within the banks. It might be one you've seen, or one that you create with your own imagination. And don't worry if you can't picture it. You might instead get a sense or feeling of its presence. Your stream might be narrow or wide, and the water may be flowing in fast or slow motion. You might be aware of the flow of the water that navigates its way over and around rocks and stones. Or notice how the mirror of the sky is distorted within the ripples of the water. You might take note of the space around the banks of the river. Or imagine little spots of water splashing onto your hand. Or even take in the fresh, dewy smell of nature. Or the warmth of the sun above your head. You can simply create the experience which is best for you, either imagining, pretending, or getting a sense of the stream. So imagine you simply sitting or standing, taking in the flow of the stream, aware of when you're breathing in and aware of when you're breathing out. And as you continue to breathe in and out, watching the beautiful flow of the stream, you might be aware of the leaves floating down it. They come into view and then float away downstream, out of sight. Or you might sense some being there instead. These leaves are for you. They are for any distracting thoughts you have. So as you continue to breathe in and out, next to the stream, every time you have a distracting thought, you can place it onto the leaf and watch or sense it float away downstream, out of sight. Remaining on the bank of the stream, focusing on your breath. And every time your mind becomes distracted, popping your thought onto a leaf and letting it gently float away. You can always find the thought and the leaf later if you need to. Aware of the in-breath and aware of the out-breath. allowing the moment to be as it is. And gently letting go of the image or the sense of the stream and the leaves. Notice again your feet making contact with the floor or your body being supported by the surface that you're sat on. And when you're ready, you can gently begin to open your eyes. Okay, welcome back, those of you who have come back. Okay, how how was that, Liz? How was that for you?
That was nice. I don't have any lack of imagination.
I know you
It's
don't.
very nice. With lots of birds on my stream as well.
Sometimes though people get a bit like you were talking about with the loving kindness, decide that kind of overwhelm of not knowing what to
Yes, yeah,
choose.
being distracted by
Yeah,
by the thing.
yeah, that can be a thing for some
But
people.
that's nice. It's better than thinking about the washing up, isn't it?
Sam, did you go somewhere? You're on mute, but yeah, you had a little nap, didn't you? Oh, you look so peaceful.
I was there on the riverbank at Icklington.
Oh, were you?
Good for the river.
Oh,
Yeah.
was anyone with you, or were you all alone?
I was all alone actually.
Michelle, how was that for you?
Yeah, I quite like that one. I was sort of flicking between rivers or streams that I'd seen and then just kind of imaginary ones. So, but yeah, I felt a bit more like I was more into it. I could sort of picture it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I think I do think that the visualization can be a good one for beginners, just because there's yeah really obvious cues for you to follow. Helps you stay with it. Beatrice?
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice. I love it. I always like visualization.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't in Ickleham. It's too cold to be in Ickleham.
Where were you, Beatrice?
I don't know. I was in a place where it was very nice and warm, and there were lots of buttercups.
Oh,
It was very lovely.
oh, I'm very happy for you. I'm happy for all of you. What about you, Di?
I find the leaf bit for my thoughts, wayward thoughts, very useful.
Okay.
As just as you said it, I thought, oh yeah, put that on there. Very timely.
Great. Brilliant. Right, let's go back to the next bit. Okay. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so the benefits of visualization meditation. Well, let's go one at a time. So, okay, so obviously some of the benefits of each meditation are the same for all meditations. They may work slightly different parts of the brain. There's a lot, obviously, of overlap, but there's also some things that are unique just to visualization. But it's a stress and anxiety. The reason why I brought this up, it kind of relates to the immune function. So lower stress levels are associated with improved immune response and overall health. And quite often migraines are linked to obviously stress and anxiety, and visualization apparently, Liz, can help with that. So to do with immune function, that's why I put that one in. Supports healing and recovery, so using can to treatment chronic pain and PTSD. I'm going to come back to a science study late on the next slide, but in cases like chronic pain or injury, mental rehearsal can help reduce the brain's overreaction to pain signals and restore like more balanced pathways. So what happens with chronic pain is the brain gets stuck in a pain loop, and visualization helps to retrain the brain to respond differently. I can't remember the exact details of this, but there was this kind of research done on like super meditators, like monks, who'd done thousands and thousands of hours of meditation, and I can't remember where, I think whether it was like pinpricks or little bits of fire, that they kind of created some pain for these monks, and the monks did not react until they actually were physically put in pain, whereas other people, the control group, anticipated the pain and reacted quicker. So I think the idea is that kind of visualization can help you kind of learn to take yourself out of the anticipation of the pain before it arrives. And that kind of helps to retrain and help you respond to it a little bit differently. Improves performance. So what was I going to say about that? I'm going to talk more about that in the next slide, because this is quite well documented now. We all know about how athletes all these days use visualization, but that's been happening for a very long time. And there's been so much research that shows that a combination of actually doing the practice and the training, as well as visualizing every stage in the process, creates amazing results for performance, for athletes, for taking tests, for all these kinds of things. Enhances emotional regulation. So when we use visualization, we can gently guide our emotional state. So it's a bit like maybe like steering a boat into calmer waters. So by picturing ourselves as grounded or safe and supported, we're sending those signals to the brain to say we're okay. And over time, this teaches our nervous system that we can stay steady when life gets tricky. It boosts motivation and confidence. So visualization doesn't just help us relax, it helps us to ignite. So when you picture yourself capable and focused and energized, the body starts to believe it. So you begin to carry yourself differently, and that's how confidence builds from the inside out. And finally, I think this is maybe unique to visualization, which is why it is boost creativity and problem solving, or particularly for visualization. So it does this because it helps us bypass the critical, analytical mind and tap into deeper layers of the subconscious. And that's where creative insight is often lives. And there's research in something called the Psychology of Aesthetics in 2011 that found that mental imagery exercises significantly improve divergent thinking, which is a key concept, or a key aspect at least, of creativity. So compared to the control groups who use verbal reasoning, participants who visualized flowing images or abstract shapes and forms generated more original ideas on problem-solving tasks. Isn't that pretty amazing? And why it works is imagery helps unstick the brain from rigid patterns. So when we imagine new scenes or sensations, we're training the brain to think outside its habitual boundaries. And this transfers into real life situations. So get all that. Any questions? Okay, right, let's move on then. So the science behind it, right. We kind of mentioned this right at the beginning, but I thought we'd go into a little bit more detail. So the brain can't tell the difference. And so when you visualize yourself doing something, whether it's walking on a beach or healing your body, your brain lights up as if it's really happening. And that's partly thanks to something called mirror neurons. And in simple terms, what that is, they're brain cells that fire up both when you do something and when you watch someone else do it or even imagine it. And so Sam, you know, when you were visualizing the yoga the other day, that's what you were doing. That was your mirror neurons working. Yeah, you would have been firing those and igniting those. So there is evidence to say that that's a really worthwhile practice. Anyway, so the mirror neurons were first discovered in monkeys who had neurons fire, not just when they reached for food, but also when they saw someone else do it. And in ours, in humans, those neurons activate when we watch or imagine actions, emotions, or sensations. Okay, so back to visualization works because the brain doesn't completely distinguish between what's real or real experience and an imagined experience. So thanks to those mirror neurons, you can imagine yourself doing yoga, walking in nature, healing, just activating those brain regions as if you were doing it. Okay. So then we've got visualization to accelerate recovery. Okay, so there's a really good piece of research on this with stroke patients, not victims. So it helps hundreds of people recover faster after suffering from a stroke. So there's been like multiple research studies where stroke patients received either standard physiotherapy or physiotherapy plus visualization. And those who did the visualization in addition to their physio improved to a greater degree and much faster than those that did physio alone. So there's an example in a study from University of Cincinnati. So after each physio session, chronic stroke patients listened to a tape that guided them through the visualizations of moving the hand and the arm and the shoulder of their impaired side. And when tested after 6 weeks, the patient's arm function was significantly better than that of the patients in the control group who did the relaxation after physio. It's bloody amazing. Yeah, so that's visualization to accelerate recovery. And the one that I was talking about before that we're probably most familiar with is about the athletes. So athletes are always using, but before I tell you about the athletes, there's a 1995 study, which is affectionately known as the piano study, and it took place at Harvard Medical School with a group of volunteers who were asked to play a piano, like 2 hours a day, one hand, 5 notes, going up and down. So moving up and down a scale of 5 notes, basically, on a piano. While the volunteers did this, a separate group were asked to do exactly the same thing, but without a piano. So they had to close their eyes and imagine that they were playing the 5 notes in the same way. And this is called kinesthetic imagery. And it's where we recreate movements by imagining them vividly or how it feels to move. Okay, and each volunteer had a daily brain scan. And at the end of 5 days, those who played the notes on the piano had considerable changes in the brain region connected to their finger muscles. However, the same was true of the volunteers who had imagined playing the notes. And in fact, on comparing the scans, it wasn't possible to tell whether a scan came from a person who played the notes with their fingers or with their minds. Okay, and going on from that, so that was in 1995. So even in 1995, we knew it was known that visualization worked. But also in 1995, when this experiment took place, it was the first time brain imaging confirmation. So the first time brain imaging could produce confirmation that actually what happens in the brain as well. So you couldn't see that. You knew it worked, but you couldn't, before that, you couldn't actually see what it looks like when a person's visualizing something. So the kind of prevailing belief among sports coaches was that visualization worked by enhancing athletes' focus and their motivation to train and practice. So any notion at all that was actually changing their brain was dismissed as pseudoscience. Obviously now with brain imaging, we now know exactly how it works. So I find that very interesting as well. So, and finally, the placebo effect. Again, this is something that probably you may well know about. So clearly, it's not just in your head. It's a powerful example of how belief alone can trigger measurable changes in the brain and body. So yeah, so when we visualize something and believe it's possible, we start to rewire the brain towards that outcome. So it's back to that kind of neuroplasticity, which we find in all kinds of meditation. And the little bit of, well, one of many bits of research that highlighted this was a study of patients with knee osteoporosis in 2002. So they all underwent this kind of sham surgery or a placebo and experienced as much improvement in pain and mobility as those who actually had the real surgery. So the belief that healing was happening triggered genuine pain relief and function. Again, amazing. But obviously, when we do that, when we believe in something, our body releases hormones or endorphins that obviously help manage pain as well. So visualizations like an intentional, conscious placebo. So we're choosing to feed our mind with images and beliefs that support healing, growth, and strength. And the brain listens. So let our brain listen to our final visualization. This one's called the hot air balloon, and this is the one that you're going to be doing for your homework all week. Let's have a look at the time. Oh, what happened to the time? Right, let's get rid of the screen share. And your homework might be a little bit longer because we've only got 10 minutes. So, but we'll just closing your eyes, falling asleep, snoring. Okay, no, yeah, so just being aware of your body on the chair. Feet planted, if they're on the floor. During this meditation, you can take what you need and leave the rest behind. So either closing your eyes or placing your eyes on a non-moving spot. And then in your own time and in your own way, take a deep breath in and out. And now just breathe in your own natural way. You can always let the rest of the world fade away. And you might notice how the body can soften and relax on the out breath. So knowing that when your mind wanders, you can return to the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. Perhaps noticing how the out-breath can release tension from the body and the mind. Don't worry if you aren't aware of it. Just know the body can take care of itself. Perhaps relaxing and softening when it's ready. We're going to take a journey of our mind around our body to bring relaxation or even softness. You can either imagine the breath as bringing relaxation, or you can set an intention to relax, or if you prefer, you can label your breath with body on the in-breath and relax on the out-breath. So let's start at the crown of the head, using the breath and intention, or the labeling, body, relax. Bringing the breath, intentional labeling to your throat and neck. And now your shoulders. Knowing your mind will wander and that you can simply and effortlessly bring it back to your breath and your shoulders. And then your arms. Your hands. Fingers and thumbs. Now bring your focus to the top of your back. The middle of your back. And then the bottom of your back. Now your chest, and then your belly. There's no right or wrong way. You either bring the breath and intention to soften or relax, or the labeling of body, relax, to each part of your body. Now imagine, pretend, or get a sense that there's a hot air balloon in front of you tied to the ground. Perhaps you can see this balloon in front of you now as you take in its colour and shape. Or instead you may sense it or have a knowing that it's there. Maybe you can hear the sounds of the hot air as it blows into the balloon. Perhaps you're aware of the space around you. Or maybe you can feel a slight breeze on the top of your head. Don't worry if the image isn't clear. You can always come back to a sense of knowing that the hot air balloon is there. Or if you need to, you can always return to your breath. You can always adjust the meditation in a way that suits you. Attached to the balloon is a large basket, and ropes are holding the balloon down on the ground. Our minds will create many different versions of a balloon. Just pick one today. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now place into the basket anything you wish to let go of today. And this could be stresses, worries, concerns, or frustrations. Or you may wish to place people or situations in the basket. You can put them all in. All the things in your life that cause you stress. Your worries, your problems. Place them all in the basket. It's a very large basket and it can hold lots of things. So place in the basket all the things in your life that trouble you. If your mind's going to the stories of the stresses or frustrations, you can always let the stories go on the next breath. And then when you're ready, release the ropes holding the balloon. The balloon is going on holiday. And as the balloon begins to rise up into the air, rising up into the sky, taking with it the basket, and as the balloon rises into the air, it gets smaller and smaller. It rises up higher and higher, getting smaller and smaller, until it reaches the horizon, disappears over the horizon, taking with it all your stresses and problems. They've all gone over the horizon. So in this moment, you're free to fill your mind with happy thoughts. In this moment, you can just be. And now gently let go of the image of the balloon. Bring your attention back into this moment. Taking what you need into this moment and leaving the rest behind. Then come back to the support of the ground or your chair or the surface you're sitting on. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Yeah, well done. You all came back this time. Well done. How was that one? You like it, not like it? Difficult, not difficult? Good for you, Di. Okay.
I actually felt lighter. I felt a lightness in my chest.
Excellent. You must have got rid of some serious shit, Sam.
Yeah, threw it all in there.
So it was a big balloon. I mean, that was very important. It was so big. What about you, Michelle?
Yeah, I think this visualization, I'm getting a bit more than some.
Good.
I'm getting there.
Yay! So it makes I can't remember though. Have you had problems with consistency? No, you've been doing it every night. So
I've tried today, but I feel the evening's better, but maybe not when I'm actually in bed. Maybe that's the problem.
or maybe just before you go to bed. But yeah, that good. Give it so that's the meditation for the week is the hot air balloon. So yeah, keep going with that then. Beatrice?
I find it quite difficult, this hot air balloon thing. Much, the river was much easier.
Okay. What a shame that's not the one that you've got this week though. It's not the one I
Well,
recorded.
exactly.
But you can
But
always
practice makes perfect. So there you go.
absolutely right. And Liz?
Yeah, I did get a bit weighed down with all the things that needed to fit in the hot air balloon, and I had to put an extra bit of fuel in there as well because I thought it wouldn't get off the ground otherwise.
Well, well done for finding a way around it.
Yeah.
And Di, you gave a thumbs up, so
Yeah, I had to get out of the balloon myself once I realised you were putting stuff in there.
that's really fun. Someone in the other group said the same thing that they thought they were going to get into the balloon.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah, but that
yeah.
was fine. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Well, well done for making it on Bank Holiday Monday again. Yes, Di.
How long do you think we should do this meditation for?
I think you should do this one every day for a week. That was the idea was that you would do every meditation that I recorded for every day, just to give you an idea of
Oh, I see.
what it was like, how it feels, if it changed, if you know how you related to it. Did it matter if you did it at different times? Unless you kind of do it enough, it's really hard to kind of monitor. And that's why journaling about it is useful because you're never going to remember. And I'm not telling you off. I'm not wagging my finger at you.
No, I
I
know
can't
you
tell you how many false starts I've had with this. But
think.
yes, but the answer really is consistency. The answer is a little a day, not masses. Just if you can find a few minutes every day, and even if you don't follow what I'm telling you to do, even if you just meditate, just making the time is good. I think that you'll learn quicker if you give yourself enough time on each type to work out what works for you and what doesn't. But that's
So
just my opinion.
are we supposed to listen to what you've just done every day?
Yeah,
Ah,
I send you the recording of the hot air
I've seen
balloon.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got the one that I wanted you to practice every week. I sent you as in the recording. So you'll have recordings of all of them. It's all right, Di. It's fine. We know how special you are.
Yeah. Oh,
Fortunately, everyone else is keeping up.
oh, wicked woman. True. Ah,
Anyway, no, I'm glad you were here and it'll be there for you when you're ready. So it's fine. All right. Have a lovely rest of evening, everyone, and thanks for coming. And yeah,
Thank you.
good luck.
that was
Thank
great.
you. Bye.
Bye.